I think that before any investigation there's always that element of anticipation, of not knowing what's going to happen, what we're going to witness and experience, and what evidence we're going to pick up. However, there's always one place that gets our adrenaline pumping and nerves going that extra little bit more, and that is the famous ancient Ram Inn. And on the 24th of May 2013, myself along with 7 others from the Southern Ghost Society returned back for another investigation. I don't really want to go into the history side of the place itself as such, only to say that this worldwide famous location still brings to the table that hard evidence that us paranormal investigators are looking for, still deeming the place to be haunted. And the evidence that you're about to see and hear in a moment is no exception. And from everything that used to take place there as far as devil worshipping, witchcraft, people being buried, murders, etc., it's no wonder that this place is so active and filled with activity. And as always, it's a pleasure to have a chat with John, the owner, as he shares with us some stories not only of what's gone on in the Ram over the years and still continues to this day, but also of his life stories. You can see now that he's showing us the deeds to the house. The house is the oldest house in Gloucestershire and is in fact one of the oldest houses in England itself. So it's always fascinating to have a chat with him as well. So to get straight onto the evidence side of everything, the whole night itself appeared to be quite quiet on the activity front, as none of us really experienced anything as such that we would have liked to have happened real time. However, upon reviewing everything now, we've come to realise that the night itself was a little bit more active than we actually thought. So just to quickly explain, during the whole investigation there were 8 of us in total investigating the whole house. Every single one of us were male. There were no female people present at all, not just investigating but actually in the house. That will become apparent and relevant in just a second, which makes this evidence and these EVPs that have been captured so fascinating and so interesting. The great thing about this first piece of evidence is not only is it picked up on my voice recorder, but it's picked up from another source of my video camera as well, which you'll get to see video footage in just a second. So just to explain what's going on, we were all up in the Bishop's room at the time. This is reported to be the most active of the rooms. What happened was that we decided to place a trigger object up in the attic. So one of us was to go up, place down a little ball which had a bell inside, put it in the attic. Obviously then if anything moved, we'd get to hear it being moved or even thrown, which has happened in the past. So that was the idea. So you're going to see video footage now of that happening. You'll notice as well that on the bed, the first bed to the left, you can see three of the investigators. In the middle of the bed was my voice recorder as well. So this is where this EVP was picked up as well on the recorder, as well as my video camera. I'm going to play the video footage for you now. I'm not going to go into it and explain what it is. I'll shed my thoughts on that in a second. But you're going to hear Dan go to place the object up in the attic, and there's a bit of joking about because inside the ball is a little bell, and there's also been reports that we've caught of a cat being in the Ram itself, which we've picked up as evidence, as EVPs and things like that. So you're going to hear Dan start saying that he thinks he hears a cat with the bell around its neck, but in fact it's probably just the little bell in the ball. So there's a bit of joking going on there. So pay attention just after you hear one of the investigators start saying that it's gone cold when the door is open, and you're going to hear something which you probably won't believe. And just after you watch this video footage, I'm then going to play you the recordings from my voice recorder as it picks up everything a little bit more. I'm going to loop that a few times as well, and then I'll come back to what you've just seen and listened to in just a second. Go and scare Dan upstairs. If there's anybody that can hear us, go upstairs and scare Dan. Oh.
Sure it's not the bell in the ball.
I was going to say, you carrying a ball of a bell.
He's carrying the cat.
You could feel a cold, there's no doors open when you're...
So
It's cold upstairs.
He's like moving round and he's your night. He's like, what?
You can feel a cold,
Do you know
there's no doors open when you're...
So I'd like to think Dan's out there, he's like moving round and he's your night. He's like, what? So I'd like to think Dan's out there, he's like moving round and he's your night. He's like, what?
So what's my interpretation of what you've just listened to? There's two pieces of evidence that's going on there. The first is that whisper that you hear quite distinctively, more so in fact on the video recorder, but you can still hear that very, very loud and clear on the voice recorder as well. The first piece of a whisper that just says yeah, so it's a whisper of kind of a yeah. And then the second part, a couple of seconds later, is a distinct, definite female voice saying something. I've played this so many times. What I can work out for this to be, I think it's somebody saying, lose him. I don't know why. I don't know why that is. In a kind of way, it makes a little bit of sense because Dan is out of the room on his own, going up to the attic, and then you've got this female spirit voice saying, "Lose him." You can interpret that as much as you like. I'm trying to make sense of it all. The only thing I can think that's going on is that there's perhaps two spirits talking to each other that we've picked up. The one, for whatever reason, has just said, "Yeah." And then it's as if there's somebody else saying lose him. So the way what I'm trying to make out, again, this could just be my thinking on it, but it's as if the one spirit is saying to the other one, like an acknowledgement to say, yeah, shall we do something, or whatever, and then there's the other one saying lose him, telling the other one to lose Dan, or something like that. I know this sounds really bizarre and I'm trying to make out the logic in what's going on, but the fact is that there's definitely two Class A pieces of evidence being picked up, and to try and put any logic to it, it could be spirits talking to each other in some way, and the one distinctively saying lose him, or even leave him, something like that. So it's definitely somebody talking to somebody else, one spirit talking to another. Very interesting, very, very fascinating, and incredible to think that how much of a definite female voice that is. There were no female people present at that time during the whole investigation, and not at all in the house. The other possibility as well of that clear female voice is that they could be saying leave him. That's the other conclusion that I've come to. It's definitely either lose him or leave him. If it is leave him, it does make a little bit more sense as far as logic, because again, if it's two spirits, the one perhaps wanting to do something to Dan and asking for some type of permission or acknowledgement of this other spirit, so the first one saying yeah in that whisper, and then it's the other one that if it is saying leave him, it's as if saying no, don't do anything to him, just leave him. So very, very fascinating again. So unfortunately the bell didn't move or didn't get thrown on this occasion. We were hoping that it was going to, because of what happened last time when we investigated there about an object getting thrown up in the attic. We were hoping that may have happened again. But so going on now to the next piece of evidence, we're now entering into the witch's room. This is the room just down from the bishop's room. We must have been in the witch's room for about half hour. And again, there was nothing really going on. The EMF meters weren't reacting at all, and we felt in a sense that it was quite flat as far as activity. However, I am so glad that I was recording with my voice recorder. Unfortunately, I didn't have my video camera rolling, but my voice recorder picked this fascinating and incredible EVP at once again. If you relay back to the evidence just a moment ago with that clear female voice saying lose him or leave him, then if you kind of imagine that same voice, then this is what happened.
How's everyone feeling?
Cold? Yeah. Fine. 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 Fine.
So again, another incredible, intelligent, response an EVP picked up. Dan is asking everybody in the group, is everybody okay? And you've got that female voice coming through and saying, and acknowledging him by basically saying, yeah, I'm okay. Incredible, absolutely incredible. If you break this down a little bit more, I personally think that there's something else caught on that EVP as well. Just before you hear that that acknowledgement, I personally think that there's a cat purring just before you hear that I'm going to loop this again, I'll repeat this for you to listen to. That could just be me, my take on it. I'm hoping or wishing that it is that cat, because that will tie in and make more logic and sense, because of all the other accounts that has been reported about a cat being picked up and also being heard real time whilst doing investigations. I honestly think that that's some type of purr that is going on before the acknowledgement. I'm going to loop this again for you to listen to.
How's everyone feeling?
Cold? Yeah, fine. 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 Fine.
So this now brings us to our last piece of evidence. It's such a shame again that I wasn't rolling on my video camera to have picked up this EVP once again, but luckily my voice recorder was going and I managed to pick this up. We're downstairs this time. We must have had a break during the investigation, roughly about two hours into it, and we were all sat downstairs just having a chat and a catch-up. Interestingly enough, during this time we were all sat downstairs. We weren't calling out, we weren't investigating at all, and it's just interesting that this has now been picked up during the time. The only thing I'll say before I play this to you is that during the whole night, everybody associated me by calling me Jace. Not one person called me by Jason. Everybody was calling me Jace. So if anybody was in that room at all that didn't know me or didn't know my full name, then naturally they would think that my name is Jace. I'm going to play this for you now to see what you think.
Just not react, you know, normally they do react a little bit, don't they, to when you ask them.
Right, let's let you guys out.
As crazy as that is to believe, somebody, some spirit, an EVP being picked up calling my name, Jace, is incredible. I know that's hard to believe, and you may think, well, perhaps it's just one of the other guys that may have called me and they whispered it and it picked up. I've played that recording all the way through, and there's not any logical point during the recording that anybody would have said that or called my name at that point. If they had have done and they wanted to get my attention, or they wanted to call me for whatever reason, and I didn't respond, then naturally they would have called me again, for example, if I didn't hear them. So there would have been a logical reason why that would have been on there from one of the guys in the group and the investigators. Very, very strange, very bizarre, but in a way quite worrying to think that somebody or something is actually saying my name. So thanks for watching this video review of the Ancient Ram Inn. Every time the place seems to deliver and give us that evidence that we're looking for, as that validation that the place, yeah, really is haunted. There's something weird going on there, and hopefully next time we return we'll pick up just as much evidence as we have this time.